Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Oklahoma Sooners get it done in the transfer portal, landing former top 150 national recruit from the 2022 class in Brenen Thompson. And the first thing you have to describe a guy like Brenen Thompson is speed. Like a sub 10 300-meter dash. This dude is one of the fastest players in college football. You go back to his recruitment, Oklahoma kind of had the inside track on a guy like Brenen Thompson. And then kind of like as they filled out that recruiting class, they kind of lost Brenen Thompson to Texas. They get it done in the transfer portal. But again, you think about this Jeff Lebby offense in a field stretcher like Brenen Thompson, the Sooner fans have to be absolutely ecstatic, especially when you take one from the Texas Longhorns. Now, before we get into it again, just want to say thank you to the Oklahoma Sooner fans. Whether we're talking recruiting, whether we're talking the spring game recap, you guys have been absolutely awesome with the support. Very engaged. We have awesome football talk in the comment section. So can't thank you guys enough. And again, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. I think it's going to be a very busy week for a busy month for the Sooners on the recruiting trail. A lot of news coming. A lot of crystal balls are in the news. So again, lock in if you do enjoy the content. Dale, I'm going to flip it to you though. Brenen Thompson, committing to the Sooners, a young prospect who has plenty of years of eligibility left. How are we feeling here?
I mean, if you watch our spring game breakdown on Oklahoma, we talked.
So I was thinking
there's one spot they can maybe be hunting.
Come on.
That wideout spot. And you look at what they have. Jaleel Farouk, awesome with the ball in his hand. Drake Stoops, awesome slot guy. They don't necessarily have that guy to take the top off the defense right now. And they have recruited like a Jacquez Petaway. Very much going to be that type of guy in the
KJ Daniels in the 2024 class too.
Exactly. So they have those speed guys coming, but they don't really have a guy on the roster right now who you think like, oh man, this guy can really cook. He can really kind of stretch this field out. And I think they may have gotten the guy who can do it in Brenen Thompson.
And a kind of a replacement for Marvin Mims, right? The 4.38 and the 40. Like they like to use Marvin Mims as a field stretcher last year. Jeff Lebby likes to do that. And when you have a guy that safeties have to respect the speed of, it opens stuff up for guys who are the more polished route runners, like an Andrew Anthony, like an Austin Stogner work in the middle of the field. This, in my mind, and going right back to what you said, when we recap that spring game, what was the one thing? Just some more juice. Another dynamic playmaker on the outside. Brent Venables gets it done with a guy like Brenen Thompson.
Yeah, and they do it. And obviously, it's nice to take it from your rival. And it adds some more like sweetness to it. Yeah, it works. So it's really nice to get the guy you kind of need at a position of need, if you will, and it's all the better to take it from Texas.
And I love what the Sooners are doing in the sense of you look at this wide receiver room, just a lot of young talent. So like this wide receiver room, I think is going to be good in 2023 with under Dylan Gabriel's last year. But when you kind of start to like look at the future, 2024, 2025, when Jackson Arnold's season is upon us, like you have some nice young wide receivers who Jackson Arnold, they're going to be veterans when Jackson Arnold's taking the field that Jackson Arnold's going to have to work with. Like Jaleel Farouk, Andrell Anthony, Jaden Gibson, all guys. And you said Jacquez Petaway, KJ Daniels. Like this wide receiver room is looking awfully nice for a guy in the future like Jackson Arnold.
And again, that's like Oklahoma is like, I mean, they're reloading that talent. Obviously, right now the focus is defense. And they've been scoring points, obviously, under Lincoln Riley for a while. And what they were able to do, get a guy like Jackson Arnold coming in the pipe and get a guy like Jeff Lebby at offensive coordinator who you don't need to worry about in terms of calling offense and developing a team that's going to put points up. They're just kind of, I don't know. You just got to love where Oklahoma's headed as a program. Just over.
Yeah, in the future, like taking a look at what Oklahoma's done in the transfer portal so far, like they've landed. This is their 13th guy, and it's kind of a mixed bag, right? You have some veteran guys who you kind of know what you're getting. You're kind of a 1-year plug in guys like Rondell Bothroyd, Walter Rouse coming from Stanford, guys who you needed a guy to play left tackle. You needed a guy to rush the passer for 1 year. You got those guys. And then you have some young guys who have some eligibility like Andrew Anthony, Brenen Thompson. I think they've done a really nice job adjusting the transfer portal in multiple different ways. Like you can use the transfer portal now, not just to build and look for 1 year. Brenen Thompson's a guy that's going to be there. He's going to be able to develop with a guy like Jeff Lebby, and this is a perfect fit. Like Jeff Lebby wants the speedsters. How he used Marvin Mims last year was absolutely beautiful. Brenen Thompson, I think, is going to slide right in and kind of play that field stretcher role that Marvin Mims was able to play last year.
That's just like a guy. They just would have never had anyone else really to do it unless it was going to be one of the freshmen, maybe. That's probably what they would have to lean on.
And you look at what Jeff Lebby and what Oklahoma's wanted to recruit. And we were actually talking with one of an Oklahoma fans who's listening, like speed. Like Texas and Oklahoma are both trying to load up on speed, and Oklahoma's doing a phenomenal job. Like you talk about a guy like KJ Daniels, who's kind of under recruited, but reportedly running 4.3s at camps. Guy like Jaquez Petaway, who's a track star. Oklahoma's valuing speed. They want to push the ball down the field. They want to hit those explosive plays. And Brenen Thompson, just another guy in the chamber for Jeff Lebby to have fun with. This Oklahoma team, dangerous in 2023.
Yeah, and they're dangerous now. I think given what they were able to do in the portal, given what they have with some of these young guys who, again, just another year developing, and it's hard to say, it's hard to judge people because like now looking at what USC just did on defense and what like kind of your belief in what Alex Grinch can do in terms of developing talent, you don't really have a ton of it because it's just like now you've seen it at a couple places. It doesn't seem to be clicking. He doesn't seem to be able to teach guys how to tackle. And now it's like you give another year with Venables, you got to think it's going to be better. And
we already saw that. And we talked with some Oklahoma fans after recapping the spring game. Like this defense looks much more physical. They're flying around the football field. You saw a lot more negative plays. You saw some turnover. Like this defense, that defense we saw in spring, and granted, it's just a spring game. I get that. But that's the type of defense you envisioned when Brent Venables took over. And then you add a guy like Brenen Thompson, who's just going to help this offense score even more points.
And again, that just for like Oklahoma and their move to the SEC, like they're recruiting the guys they need. I think
yes,
they're going to be athletic enough. And I know people when they thought, oh, that Chase Lincoln Riley out, he can't be in the SEC. He can't play that physical style of football. I think honestly, like it doesn't look like Oklahoma skipped a beat at all recruiting wise. It seems like it's gotten quite a bit better. If anything, you're getting better defenders, and I don't know. I just think given where they are now, it's hard to say that they're in a worse spot than when they were with Lincoln.
Oh no! In terms of like projecting this team and how they're going to play in the SEC, I know it wasn't pretty year one under Brent Venables, but I think you feel a lot better having a guy like Brent Venables leading this team into the SEC than a guy like Lincoln Riley. Like they're going to address the trenches. They're going to be they're going to be a more physical team. You're seeing that get done on the recruiting trail. And again, give Brent Venables another year, another cycle to get his guys into this program. I think this team is just so clearly going in the right direction. Again, getting it done with a guy like Brenen Thompson, massive get in the transfer portal, a guy that I think will be an immediate contributor for the Sooners team in terms of how he fits into this wide receiver room. Big time get. Again, wanted to keep this one short, but just thank you guys for supporting us. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, a lot of crystal balls coming Oklahoma's way, so stay locked in if you do enjoy the content, and we'll talk to y'all later.